What up, guys? My name is Kong, and today I'm gonna be talking about news of the world. News of the world. This star Tom Hanks, and I believe there's a young actress. Oh, I'm sorry, my my thing fall down. Again, it stars Tom Hanks and this young girl. I want to say she's in her teen. I would say like teen. This story is essentially about Tom as a former captain. I believe it's Kyle Kidd. I believe that's his name. And what he does with his job is essentially go town to town and tell the towns of the world that outside of their own town. And he does this for a living, you know. And he happened to came across a carriage that was I would say attack. Ambush, and he saw this girl, and he felt obligated, not obligated, but he felt that it was a good thing to bring her back to her family, or bring her back to someone who's close to her, a relative. And it happened to be on his way, and the town that her relative lives have to be town kind of near his home. So that's what the story starts. So let's talk about what I did like. I like the concept, the idea of Tom Hanks being a newsman, and you just go town to town and just tell people about what's going on outside of the town. And I like that really a lot, because this is very a unique movie, really unique movie. It's a unique. It's not a concept, it's a unique story. I've never seen a movie that is about a person who go town to town and just tell. And this is pre 1900. This is probably late 1800s. So it's really interesting to really get that glimpse of picture. I like Tom Hanks' acting. I thought he was very genuine. He was very a man of honor, a man of code. He's I would say a man who he do what he's gonna do. He obviously is a sad man. He has some issues, and so you can tell that he have some, not issue, but he has some heartache. He is sad, even though he does a really good job of hiding it. I like that here. Well, also, I like the young girl. I thought she did a wonderful job. Wonderful job. It's almost like she deserved an award for Best Supporting Actress, or maybe even, I would say, Supporting Actress, because she did such a wonderful job of portraying a young child who doesn't quite understand the way of the American, or the way of the local towns. What she understands is the Native Indian, their point of view of the world, how they live their world, how they communicate. So it was really interesting, even though that we get to find out that she's German, but yet she still retained that Native Indian philosophy, the Native Indian thinking, and she speak Kiowa. So it was really well done. She did a wonderful job. It was believable. You could tell that she was scared. You could tell that she was quite intelligent in some ways, and she can sort of sense danger. She can sense malicious intent behind people's malicious intent. It was very interesting, and she just did a really wonderful job. I've never seen a young child or a teenage girl. I don't know if she's a full age, like grown young lady, but in the movie she did such a wonderful job to really convey a very confused child, a very unsure of what's going on, very don't really have a home, and it's really sad. So I like her. I like the journey itself. He take upon himself to take her to get to her nearest relative, and in between those time he encounters two very dangerous moment in his journey and her journey. So it's really interesting that it's not all happy. Back in the early 1800s and late 1800s, it's still sort of that wild west. So I like that here. It really sort of forced the two, sort of the opposite of each other, to really work to each other, to help each other, to go through this journey together. As two completely different strangers. I mean, they're at this point they're familiar with each other and they have understanding, but yet they're not relative. They're not uncles and nieces. They're just two different people. That their paths are crossed, and I really like that. It's genuine. It's if they just want to get home. That's what they really want to do, is to get home, and I like that. Those two. The first ambush sequence was really, very, very. It was scary. I wouldn't say scary, but it was life-threatening. It was obviously, yes, it's scary for the young child and for them, especially for the young child, because there was three guys, who know what they would do to a young girl. So it was dangerous for both of them, and it's just dangerous, because you're out in the middle of a plane, and you can just people can just shoot you and you can die, and no one would know about it. So I like that. And then the second, it was in the town, and he sort of trying to convince the crowd to hear about this story. And I like that because it really showed that the main character is really an intelligent person. He understands the situation he's put in. How does he work with the situation that he got? So it's really, really, really good. To me, it's like they really developed the characters. They really developed him as a former soldier, not just a former soldier, but a man who has to work with what he got, or whatever situation he's in, at the spot. So I like that a lot. What else did I like the I like the feel, the feel and the views of during that time. Small towns, horse carriage, pistol revolvers and shotguns, and this I would say this take after the Civil War. I believe this take place after the Civil War. I think maybe 5-10 years after the Civil War. I could be wrong. I apologize, but I think it's take after, because you keep repeating that. They talk about the blues, meaning the blues as in the unions, and then obviously the the Confederates. So you could tell there's a sense of there's the after the Civil War. And he Tom Hanks even talked about the I believe, but the Declaration, not a Declaration of Independence, but the emancipation of the free of slave. So I think that was kind of sort of the keys that took place, after the Civil War. So I like that. What else? I like the feel, the cinematography of them just being on the plane, just really desolate. Not desolate, but in the plane, there's really nobody, and they're just on this path of uncertainty, because they don't know if they're gonna survive, the carrier's gonna make it there, or they're gonna have enough food. They don't know if they're gonna get ambushed or killed. That sort of thing. So there's a level of uncertainty there. But the cinematography is great. The music score is great. The emotion is really, 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 really good here. It's really emotional. The young girl, she lost her parents. She find out that she lost her parents, and I don't know if she understands, but I think she was adopted by the Native Indian. That sort of thing. And then what I found the most, I would say the most impactful, or the most emotional moment was him accepting her as sort of his own, even though it's not by birth, but he sort of understands that she has no one. Even the closest relatives don't quite understand who she is. They don't quite accept who she is, and he sort of understand that, you know, that he have gone through all this trials and tribulation with her, and with her with him too, that they both are meant to be together as you know, adopted daughters and fathers. I mean, he took that and he conveyed that you belong with me. You and I are family in Kiowa. And he spoke in Kiowa language in way that a native Indian would talk to their own child in the native language. So I thought it was a very beautiful moment. It's very, very, very beautiful moment. And I like the ending too, that they grow together, and they're doing their, you know, news, traveling around towns and telling the news. So it had a good happy ending. So that's why I like it a lot. What are the cons? There's not a lot of cons that I don't like. I wish it was a little bit. I wish there was a more of an obstacles for the pairs, but for what it is, I'm okay, because, and this is during early 1800s and late 1800s, and it's sort of after the Wild West. It's after the Civil Wars, so I'm okay with it. There's not a lot of things that I don't. A lot of cons. I can know things to improve, but there's not much I don't like about this movie. So guys, what was the rating I give this movie? I give it an 8 out of 10. I really, I really enjoyed this movie for what it is. The story, the characters. He go town to town, you know, talk about the news. I thought that was really, really, really unique. You don't quite see those sort of stories. There's unique kind of stories anymore. A lot of it is just superheroes and creating, you know, the universe and MC universe and DC universe. You don't quite see the individual story about certain individual characters, and the characters that are involved here they're amazing. It's heartbreaking, it's hard, it's scary, it's dangerous, and sort of all of that. It's a really an emotional roller coaster, and I'm glad that I took a chance on this movie and watch it, and boy, it is really good. And Tom Hanks really does a good job, especially the young girl. She does a wonderful job of conveying confused, being, you know, speaking the language of the Kiowa, and conveyed the native Indians view of the world, and it's just really interesting. And the interaction between the actors and the actress, you know, Tom Hanks and her, it was really, 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 really good. It really the level of performance here was just good. It was believable. It did not detract me. So that's why I give it an 8 out of 10. I highly recommend you guys go watch this on HBO Max. The movie is called News of the Worlds. So check it out, guys. Please like, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and browse to my YouTube channel. I have a lot of content for you guys to check out. Please do so. Thank you so much, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.